Okay, so we're going to talk about the law that is martial that is potentially coming about in April. Remember that insurrection thing I mentioned? It's tied to that. And the pink triangle that some people recognize and others didn't. So we're going to break that down too. But I just want to remind you all that the sheer amount of brand new profiles with no followers that are hopping into my comments on my videos about someone else's live admission to talk about how they're never stenchers, but they read somewhere that he's actually talking about this. You know that means that I'm onto it, right? You know, whenever they send that many bots onto one video, it's because it's onto something. I haven't seen that many bots in weeks. They are all over that one, all saying the exact same thing. Hey, I don't like him, but that's not what he meant, bitch. Let me look, like I said on the tube and on the sky that is blue, and I didn't say it on my stories, but that's where I posted the clip. That is a man that has no problem calling out Joe Biden by name. He has no problem calling the party by name and saying, this is what they did. So every time he makes this statement, he says they, not Joe Biden, not the Dems. He doesn't even say 2020. So I'm not going to keep arguing with y'all. Y'all can go ahead and arguing with yourselves in the comments, but the clip is there. He said what he said. You can keep trying to explain it away all you want, but you're telling on yourself, not us. And thank you for furthering my content. Anyway, let's talk about the triangle that is pink. I'll show it to you. This is yet another reason why they love the uneducated. Half of their supporters do not know what that symbol means, and so they're going to try to explain it as meaning anything other than what it really does in the comments. And the other half, the older half, the half that has special hoods in their closets, recognize exactly what that is. So that is the insignia that was used by mustache man worshippers back in the 40s to identify the members of the alphabet soup team. Okay, so it was basically the star for alphabet folks, for the Rainbow Brigade. So the leader of this nation putting that out there publicly is basically stating exactly everything that you should. And when people are sharing that going, that scared me shitless, it should. Because yeah, that it's absolutely, and sure, you can try to explain it. He didn't really mean it. Okay. Back we go to that. You're going to find out the hard way. So in a previous video, I lightly touched on this whole insurrection clause thing and how he ordered his heads of department to do reports and report back in April to see on if they should enact the law that is martial based on the Insurrection Act. And so that is something that could very well happen, that they will very well try to make happen no matter what. And I need to remind y'all, because it's mostly these people who are hearing that and going, oh no, what are we going to do? What South Korea did. That's what. South Korea showed you that it only works if you comply with it. So the people that are like, oh, well, we know you're going to comply with it. So you're just keep moving. But for the people who understand the assignment, should they do something like that, we need people to react. Okay, if we all comply, then that's the ball game. So I'm telling you that now, and I'm not saying it to be fearful. I'm letting you know so you get prepared to go South Korea, to go France. Speaking of France, did you know that there were a handful of nations around the world who over the weekend had a moment of silence for women in America losing their rights? Other first world nations are acknowledging that we are losing our rights. Other first world nations are putting us on global watchdog lists as a country that is infringing upon basic human rights. Okay, the rest of the world is acknowledging that. Meanwhile, over here, we've got propaganda stories talking about Zelensky apologized to the co-daddy. No, he didn't. No, that's twisted information. Again, just like everything. No, we don't hold the cards. Russia doesn't hold the cards. None of those things. That's all propaganda to get two-teethers who don't understand shit to victim blame the country that was invaded. Ukraine has no interest in giving up land and minerals in exchange for absolutely nothing. Nobody's going to do that. And the American media trying to tell you that that's what they're going to do is lying. We are in state-run media stage. If you haven't figured that out yet, or figured it out by the amount of bots that run into my comments to follow up and sweep through social media to make sure that the narrative they want is here too. That's why they're all over that other video. These people are kidnapping reporters and celebrating it, and then getting upset when the courts are like, no, you can't deport a legal resident just because you don't like their politics or you don't like that they staged a protest. Protests are free speech. According to y'all showed up with I can't say the devices they showed up with at J6, but you remember what they showed up with, and that was just fine. But if you gather on a college campus, it's dangerous to them. So yes, and we know that they are trying to piss us off. We know it, okay? We're releasing Chauvin. We don't care. We're renaming Obama. We don't care. We're taking away BLM. We don't care. We're not going to acknowledge Black history. We don't care. We fired another Black television personality. We don't care. Like, they are trying so hard. We don't care, because we know you just want us in the streets. We do not care. This one is not our fight. You're using us as scapegoats. We're not interested. We did our part. We tried to warn you. A lot of folks didn't listen to us. Some did, some didn't. Now we are cheering, and we're telling y'all to go ahead and go do it. And the people who come into my comments going, you guys need to get out there, you are one of them, because they want us out there so they can release the hounds. It only works when it's y'all. That's why the protests keep growing, because it's y'all, and they don't want to fuck with y'all. That's why they made a big deal of arresting that one reporter, that one Middle Eastern reporter. They have nothing to say about all of their key demographic meeting every single day. They want to focus on the brown people. That's why we're staying home. That's why y'all are out there. Thank you to the folks who are understanding the continued assignment. All right, I'm going to rest now.